O Show. This is the Big 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 O Show.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Welton Ray has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Ray, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Ray can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Ray can help. Call 954-966-4646.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Furones, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house!
Get out of the house! Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All righty. Good morning, boys and girls, and everyone else around the world. You might be tuning in live. You might be tuning in later on at your own leisure, because that's kind of the way it goes in today's world. On demand is always the top dog. So welcome aboard. We are here at Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Yes, yes, yes. The Spring into Performance sales event going on right now. I'm looking at a loaded lot, new, certified, pre-owned, all of that. So come on down here and check it out for yourself, or come on by and visit us. We'll be out here for a couple of hours hanging out, having some fun on a Friday. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. David Furones will join us at 10:30. Manny Navarro will join us at 11 a.m. So we'll get the latest. There's really nothing to talk about with the Dolphins, but we'll get David Furones. We'll get his thoughts on a couple of things. One of the things I'll get his, I want to get his thoughts on is what I talked about with Tyreek. And so that's something that I think we'll get his opinion on that, because I think that's something that people aren't really talking about, not yet at least. So we'll get that. And then Manny will find out anything that's new with the Canes. Again, kind of quiet. This is kind of like, it's kind of like a dead time right now. Really, free agency kind of died out. There's some movement, but not a lot of movement right now. And it's kind of leading all up to the draft now. And it's almost like, wait till you get to the draft, and then after you've filled those needs, then you go back to what's left in free agency, and you delve into that, whatever you may need, because you didn't pick it up in the first wave of free agency or in the draft. So that's kind of where we're at right now. It's kind of like a dead zone. It's all really up to the Heat, and the glares out there are like crazy. It's all up to the Heat and the Panthers and Nova, and baseball started yesterday. I know.
Couldn't even get us a Whopper Jr.
I know. Marlins yesterday started off the season with a 6-5 loss in 12 innings where they had to use their bullpen.
Funny part about it is I'm leaving from the casino last night. And at the time, it's 5-3. And Craig Seeloff is the voice, the radio voice.
I really wanted them to win just for those guys.
Yeah, and he goes, fortunately, we're into the bullpen, and the Marlins believe this is a strength for them. 6 innings later, it looks like it's the worst thing on the team.
Yeah. Well, not really.
I mean, they've already ruined my 162-0.
Well,
now
yeah.
it's 161-1.
Right.
I mean, that's the best I can give you.
But they had a shit ton of strikeouts. They didn't score a run since the 6th inning on. So they got to 12, and they didn't score a run. So the bullpen had to keep you in it the entire time. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, brother, you're playing a bad team because the Pirates are a bad team. Okay?
But you got 5 runs. I mean, again, it's not like a
5 runs for them is a lot.
That's what I'm saying, though.
And they
Like, the
lost.
pitching needs to keep the other team under 5 runs. You're not going to get 5 runs every game.
No, I know. But
I mean, Berger and Bell were, I think, like
Berger had
6
3
for 6 or something total.
Yeah, Berger had 3 of your 8 hits. Yeah, 3 RBIs, and he went 3 of 4. He had 3 of your 8 hits. Berger pretty much was your offense yesterday.
That's the first time I've ever seen the last name actually with the U, like spelled Berger.
Yeah.
It threw me off when I saw the back of his jersey. I was like, I thought it would be Berger.
But-
Never paid attention to it.
But hey, when we really look at it, Jake did not live up to his name. Did you get your Whopper? No. So you didn't get a burger. The only guy that walked out of the park with a burger was Jake, because that's his last name.
He tried to get everybody a burger, though. He did his best. I mean,
He tried.
3 RBIs. I mean, come on.
He tried, but he's got to do better. He's got to get other people, frying up some burgers for us. Jake, let's go, bro. You got to motivate others to want to, spread out some burgers. Well, one of many, many, many losses for the Marlins.
And kudos to the Pirates and Marlins fans that the place was packed pretty
I know.
much for opening day. It's pretty
know.
good.
I know. It was good. It was a great atmosphere.
That's what
Fun game.
Craig Mitch was saying.
Yeah, it was a fun atmosphere. It was fun. But again, it's just they haven't won an opener since like 2014 or something like that. It's been tough, dude.
Did you get? And I know you didn't get to watch their. Was there anything spectacular about their opening day? Remember the first time they were in Lone Depot Park or whatever it was at that time? I think it was Marlins Stadium at the time. They had Bruce Buffer out there doing the introductions and all this stuff.
Yeah.
The Dodgers had this parade of the players being introduced, and like the only pictures I saw from Marlins were them just the regular.
Yeah, just
the regular stuff. Nothing extravagant.
No, the most extravagant thing is that there were a lot of fans in the building.
Yeah.
That's all.
I am going to try those $52 all-you-can-eat seats one time, though. Talk to the wife. We're going to do it.
Okay.
One game, I'm going. I just want to test it. You get 3 items every half inning.
Okay.
So I'm going to do it. It's the only time I'm going to get a burger from them.
But you're on this thing where you're going to lose weight. You're going to go to an all-you-can-eat. So then
I've lost 37. If I put on 3 or 4, I can lose it real quick.
Okay. All right.
Doing good. I'm very
Just
proud
make
of
that
me.
your only meal of the day.
It's gonna be a big meal, man.
But fasting.
Big meal, yeah.
That's it. No more for the rest.
Yeah, it's all you can
starve
eat
until
and
you get
drink,
there.
by the way, too.
Right. Starve until you get there.
Yeah.
And then starve after for a while.
Yeah, but I don't know, going there and being that the first thing that goes on your belly. It's not like you're getting the good stuff. You're getting the hamburgers, hot dogs from the Marlins Cafe. You're not getting
No, of course.
the from the Cuban restaurant there. and
No.
all that stuff.
You're not going to
Yeah.
get the good stuff.
No. Yeah, you get hamburgers, hot dogs, nachos, and they've added some stuff to it this year. So that's exactly Play Action 7, the Fat Man Struggle.
That's it. That's our lives. So they lost yesterday. Tonight, 7:10, Martin Perez and is it AJ Puke or Puke? Puke. Puck? Puck? Okay. Well, then the puck drops at 7:10. Okay. Dolphin 5413 says, "Ha! Finally first on the roll call. Kyle Cockrell in, Cosa Nostra, Karen Joseph, AEW. I don't know what that means. Huh? What?
He's the AEW stumper there, and he's it's a fantastic program that nobody watches.
Okay. Gus is in. Steven Gonzalez, what's going on with the Panthers? Yeah, man, they're in a funk, dude. That loss last night is like
Oh, dude, come on, guys. Let's go. Wake up. They're a really good team. I don't know what the funk is going on, guy, but it's funky. Ray Sosa says, morning big victory cigar for Nova and the Panthers for clinching a playoff spot, even though they didn't win. Well, we can't give the Panthers no victory cigar. Nova, let's give Nova a victory cigar. We can always give Coach Crutchfield and company a victory cigar. Light it up. All right, Steve Chapman is in to Extreme, no doubt. Jay Gelfin. Thank you, Jay. Appreciate you. Eric Simon. Giovanni is in. Yeah, it's been bad for the Cats, Giovanni. Still living in the 80s time capsule, which is Willie. Gordon Shumway. Alberto Larios. Joe Carter is tuning in from Jamaica on a small getaway. I heard that the internet is kind of sucky in Jamaica. I guess it's not. I guess you're doing all right. Thank you. Def Leppard shirt. Yes, these are extra larges. So this shirt is brand new. Okay. And I was just talking to Larry, and he goes, dude, at first I thought it was like a Leonard Skinner thing. But then you see the British flag and all that. And I go to him, yeah, no, this is from my extra large collection, because now I can go into the extra large collection after losing 30 pounds. And so you're gonna see some shirts you haven't ever seen in a while, because I've never put this on. So Sean, look in my back. What year was that tour? 2012.
2012.
This shirt is 12 years old. First time I wear it, and it's 12 years old, dude. You know? So it's like, it's crazy. Crazy shit, man. Crazy shit. So there you go. So thank you. Thank you. It's fun now. Now I don't have to look at a shirt. Oh, no, this is extra large. I can't wear this right now. I got to go double XL, double XL, double XL. So now the extra larges, So it's pretty cool. It is pretty cool. So now my wardrobe went more than doubled, probably, because my wardrobe is concert shirts. I mean, that's just really, it's all I don't really want to wear anything else. Give me a concert shirt, bro, and I'm golden. I'm golden. I'm really comfortable. Dude 67, radio host in. Greetings from the mass exodus state of California. Alexis Palenzuela, play action 7. Cala Joe, morning, Mr. Common Sense, Nostradamus, thank you, sir. Morning, real quiet here in North Carolina, says the Horn Dog. Alex says, those are my boys, seeing them in Orlando with Journey. Cool. Joe can still sing, man. So that's the cool part about it. They still sound really good, Def Leppard. Def Leppard drummer still doesn't get enough credit for having his arm amputated, coming back to play amazingly as a one-handed drummer. Yes, he is absolutely. Rick Allen is absolutely awesome. He is in one of our opens, Rick Allen. He was on my show. In fact, we could get him on. I could actually bother him and get him on one day. Maybe I'll do that. Was that the Kiss tour? No, I don't think so. 2012. I think this was them on their own. They were headlining something. I have a collection of shirts I hope to fit back into someday, he says, no doubt. Well, you can do it, bro. If I can do it, no doubt you can do it. Omar Lopez in. Rosendo says, so I'm assuming you don't wear a suit as much. No, I try to stay away from dressing nice as much as possible. Yeah, it has to be something that I have no choice, that I have to wear something nice. But if not, brother, I'm good with jeans and and a concert shirt. That's where I'm comfortable. That's my comfort zone right there. So anyway, the markets are closed today, except for, of course, crypto. Crypto never closes. It's open 24 hours. Bitcoin, by the way, is still holding strong, 70,400. There's like $15 billion of futures that are expiring today. So it'll be interesting to see the effects it will have on the market here, if it does have some effects, which I'm sure it will. So we will find out as the day goes on. I was thinking about this. Just that, you know me, I'm a Bitcoin maxi, as they call us, people that believe in it and know that it's going to take over. Pretty much everybody in the world's got gold, don't they? Ring, bracelet, chain, tooth. Some of you have some gold toofuses, some gold fillings, right? So there's gold in every way now, and some people own bullions and coins, and and they really collect gold in that form, right? So think about how much gold there is all over the world, and they're still mining it every day, and they'll continue to mine it forever. The more the price of gold goes up, the more gold they find. That's kind of the way it goes, because there's plenty of gold mines all over the world, and there's still others that haven't been found. And yet there's only 21 million Bitcoin. There's 8 billion people and 21 million Bitcoin. And by the way, each Bitcoin can be broken up into 1 million pieces. So the maximum is 210 million. If nobody owned a complete Bitcoin and they just owned a piece. And there's 8 billion people. Do the math. So it's kind of funny, and yet gold's been around forever, and it's stuck at $2,100, $2,200. And this thing's right now, it's found a floor at 70,000. Like, there's no comparison, zero comparison. But just a thought. When you think about it, everybody pretty much owns some form of gold. I have gold at home. I'm not a guy that really wears a lot of jewelry, and if I wear jewelry, I usually like wearing actually silver. To be quite honest, I don't even like wearing gold. There you go, silver. That's what I wear. I don't even wear. I have, and I don't even wear it. It's just there, sitting there. My wedding ring. I don't have a gold watch, but I have some bracelets. I have a gold chain. I have a couple gold chains from back in the day. Don't wear them. You know what I mean? But I have gold. I'm sure you have some kind of gold at home, right? Some pendant, some chain, some ring, something. Because I know you're not also a jewelry guy either. You know what I mean? So, but that's like, it's crazy when you think about it. Everybody has some form of it. Everybody won't have a form of Bitcoin. So, just food for thought. That's all. Food for thought. I tried on a few weeks ago my 1988 Poison Open Up and Say Ah Tour Tee. Man, glad I fit into it, but at the same time, it made me feel really old. That is awesome. That's awesome, Giovanni. The funny part is that you can sell that shirt, and somebody will buy and pay good money, even used. They will buy and pay good money for that shirt. Lisa Rose is in the house. Ronald Hubbard in. Reminding everybody, that's right. Smash that like button. Hit the subscribe. As always, thank you, sir. Thank you, Ronald. Miles Deep out in Vegas. Thank you. If the Earth runs out of gold, there's plenty in space and asteroids. Yeah, no, they'll find it. They'll just continue to mine it. Yeah. No, you're right about that. Yeah. But they won't run out because there's still other places to find it, because that's just kind of the way it goes. But yeah, it's just it's one of those things. It's hard for people to wrap their minds around it. We talk a lot about the corporate world, right? And especially on this show, because I've been so blessed, and I feel Sean probably feels the same way, that he's blessed that he doesn't have to deal with the corporate world every day and all the politics and everything that goes with it. And you've seen how I told you that Pat McAfee would have his kind of run-ins and issues, and he's already had it, where he's openly talked about people trying to, in his own company, trying to sabotage, what he's doing. So I'm wondering, Sean, did you see what happened to Colleen Wolfe of the NFL Network? You know who she is? Little cute girl with the salt and pepper hair. She's like a host. She's not really an insider.
I've heard the name, but I don't know.
Well, so Colleen Wolfe, who's harmless, to be quite honest. This week on a podcast, Around the NFL podcast, she said that a very reliable source told her that on Sunday night in Orlando, a very heated conversation occurred between Jets owner Woody Johnson and Jets coach Robert Saleh. And apparently the Jets were unhappy with the report. Johnson took it to X and called it irresponsible. So now Colleen Wolfe, who works for the NFL Network, which is owned by who? The NFL. And now you're pissing off an NFL team owner. And a disagreement that apparently really did happen. But anyway, regarding my comments surrounding the Jets on Around the NFL podcast, no, I was not at the annual meeting. And yes, I was told of the exchange between head coach Robert Saleh and Woody Johnson by someone in attendance. Others on site Sunday night have since reached out and described the interaction differently. My intent wasn't to break news. I leave that to the insiders. My sincerest apologies to the Jet organization for unnecessary distractions during such a crucial part of their offseason. Okay? So, and then, it's she hasn't like necessarily redacted the report. And it's kind of been corroborated by other people that there was some kind of a heated exchange. And this is what happens when you work in the corporate world, because now her job is on the line because of that. It may not be, they might let it slide and all that, but they could easily, okay, when's her contract up? And then, it might be a year from now, it might be 2 years from now. But then this is the thing that got you, not rehired, not extended, And because you work in that world and she maybe got some good information, somebody gave it to her, and she was just sharing some information. But the problem is you cannot share information about the people you work. You work for them. You can't be talking bad about them. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't fly. It's a shame, But this is the business that, we choose to work in. When you choose to be a part of something like this, you're going to have to deal with the politics of, hey, we've got a relationship with the team, because I've been told that. Sponsor stuff, I totally understand. When management goes after people because a host is slamming a sponsor, I get that, because that's money, and you're kind of affecting everybody at that moment. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of understand that. But this stuff, this is why you would like to work somewhere a little bit more independent. And she's got to kind of know that. She unfortunately learned a brutal lesson in person. But interesting stuff with Colleen Wolfe and the NFL Network and the politics of dancing. As who was it? Who's Scritti Politti? Was it right? Politics of dancing, I want to say. Was it Scritti Politti? Look it up. The song Politics of Dancing. Yeah. Politics of ooh, feeling good. Yeah, I think it was Scritti Politti. Maybe. Reflex? That's what it is? Okay, Reflex. Okay. Well, part 2, I don't know about that one. I only know Politics of Dancing. So it's Reflex, name of the band? Okay. All right. I took a stab. I was wrong. That happens. Let's see what else. Lenny Peña says, you missed me on roll call, Big O. ¿Qué pasa, chico? Happy Friday. Happy Friday to you, Lenny. Thank you, as always. Radio host says, Big O, I'm sure you said it before, but who was your first rock concert? Mine was King Crimson in Princeton, New Jersey, 82. Wow. That is super nice, bro. King Crimson. That's special, as they say. Yeah, man. Boston Poco Doobie Brothers, Miami Baseball Stadium. 77, 78, 78. And then after that was Fair Warning, Van Halen, 81, Sportatorium. Those were like my first concerts. I was a kid. I needed a ride. I went with
no excuse.
I went with a friend in one that was older. And then in the next one, my dad dropped me off.
Yum.
And I made sure he dropped me off like a few blocks away from the Sportatorium, which, by the way, the Sportatorium is just a couple blocks away from here. The sport, those of us that went to the Sportatorium, it's like really, literally a couple of blocks away, right there. So I had my dad drop me off a couple of blocks away, so we'd walk to the Sporto. And if you remember, the Sporto, you first got to the parking lot and then the Sporto. So if you parked a couple blocks away, you were parking, if you were dropped off a couple blocks away, it was like you were out of sight. Nobody saw you. So nobody saw that we were, 15-year-old kids getting dropped, or 14-year-old kids getting dropped off by dad to go to a concert. So, yeah, I was young, bro. Young.
Yeah, but, in the words of a great man, life finds a way.
I did go see, like, Gypsy Queen at different places, like free concerts. I remember that during that time also. There were local bands like Gypsy Queen that I would go see. But yeah, it was kind of like that. But I'm a young little rocker in those days. So yeah, I needed a ride. I didn't have a car. The first concert that I drove to was 1982, the Rock Super Bowl. And unfortunately, Randy Rhoads died 2 days before in the plane crash in Tampa. So Ozzy canceled. It was Foreigner 4, the Foreigner 4 album and the tour. And it was a Rock Super Bowl. It was supposed to be Ozzy and Foreigner and and Bryan Adams. And then when Ozzy was forced to cancel because of Randy's death, they replaced it with Pat Travers and UFO. So we ended up with an unknown Bryan Adams before Cuts Like a Knife or anything like that, opening up. And then it was UFO. Freaking awesome. What a blessing that was. And then I was able to see Pat Travers. At that moment, Pat Travers was bigger than UFO because snorting whiskey, drinking cocaine, and what was his other song that he had? Those were like bigger songs at that moment than UFO. And so Pat Travers was like the second. By the way, I had Pat Travers. I've shared this story before. And if you followed my show over the years, I had Pat Travers on years ago. And he gave, I told him, dude, the first time I saw you was in 82 for the Rock Super Bowl when you were filling in for Randy. And he goes, I'll tell you a story. The promoters called me and they wanted me to play the Randy Rhoads role for Ozzy, and that Ozzy would continue the tour. And I had talked to Ozzy, and Ozzy was devastated. And I said, you have you guys talked to Ozzy yet about this? Because he's not doing this. So I don't know what you're doing trying to recruit somebody to replace Randy. He's not doing it. And so the promoters behind the scenes were trying to replace Randy Rhoads to save their asses and money. Instead, and meanwhile, not even talking to Ozzy about this. And Pat Travers had already talked to Ozzy. And he knew Ozzy was devastated and he was canceling the tour and all that kind of stuff. Because, after we found out how devastated Ozzy was at Randy, he's still devastated to this day about Randy Rhoads. So kind of an interesting story there in that one that you led me to. NorCal is in the house. Thank you, NorCal. That's right. Puff, puff, give. Robert T. Nico Jones. 20 years ago, she would have gotten a promotion. Woke BS at work. But that's kind of what it is. I mean, they own the business, bro. Is there a part of the off season that would have been more appropriate for this distraction? Is it really a distraction, or are you guys just a walking distraction, New York Jets? NorCal says, my first concert was Guns N' Roses opening up for Iron Maiden at the Cal Expo. GNR canceled. F you, Axel, but Iron Maiden played an extra half hour, so thank you, ass hat Axel. Iron Maiden is so cool. I saw Madonna there. There you go. Big O, why are Miami Heat so frustrating to watch? Well, that's because, the best player doesn't give a shit about the regular season. I don't think they'll be at full health for the playoffs. Well, they never are because Hero always breaks down. Yeah, no, there is no guarantee. I kind of worry this year about a run again. Horn Dog says, my first concert was Two Live Crew, Move Something tour at the Miami Baseball Stadium. All I remember is a lot of weed, smoke, and running, and I was a middle schooler. Learned a lot that night. Two Live Crew. Now that was a fun concert. Have you heard of Charles Bradley singing Changes by Black Sabbath? No, I have not. I'm going to have to check it out. How did I feel about Hard Knocks switching to divisions? Yeah, I was going to talk about that yesterday. I had it on the show, and I did not talk about that. We'll get into that one. It's kind of interesting what they're doing, and I have a theory on why they're doing it. Anyway, it looks like Mr. Furones is locked and loaded. Well, Welton Ray, a proud sponsor of our program, folks. Bankruptcy, homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury. Call the best, man. Telling you, Jeff Welt, Daniel Rayom, they've done it for us firsthand. They brought Progressive to their knees, dude. That several of our listeners have called Progressive now over the last couple of years, and they have, they're in a much better place now. DeSantis did not put us in a good position when it comes to homeowner property insurance. Now the companies have an advantage. Although I'll give DeSantis props on this, that squatters law. Thank you. That's a good one there. You do some stuff that's not good. You do some stuff that's good. There's a give and take sometimes. But anyway, no, seriously, you got to protect yourself, and hiring the right lawyers is the most important thing. 954-966-4646. Let's get to David Furones on our Welt and Rayom Miami Dolphins report.
All rise, football fans, as the Welton Ray Miami Dolphins report with David Furones is in session. Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They are committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. Here's Miami Dolphins insider David Furones.
How you doing, my brother? How you feeling?
Hey, I'm doing well. A Friday, we're getting ready for the weekend. How are you?
and a slow ass week in Dolphin land, huh?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it started off with a lot going on, owners' meetings and hearing from Mike McDaniel, and but aside from that, then yeah, a pretty slow week. We haven't had anything really happen since Odell Beckham Jr. at the end of last week, and no signings, nothing like that. So we're getting into that part of the offseason.
Let me ask you something, because I talked about this yesterday on the show. Is there a chance that Tyreek Hill is playing his last year with the Miami Dolphins coming up? Because I looked at the SPO track, and after this season, the cap hit drops to 22, and the dead cap. And you think about it, they could make him a June 1st cut if from here to the end of this coming season, let's say they're not happy with, again, some other off-field issues or inconsistencies, or they do have to give contracts to new people next year. And so they do kind of have an out. And I was thinking that maybe they hang on to him for 2 more years. But this offseason, when they needed money, they did not go to Tyreek. And that's interesting, because they kind of stayed away from digging in there and extending that stuff, because as you know, the more you guarantee, then the more commitment there is down the line and more dead cap money that increases for you. So I'm not saying it is, but I'm just saying that the Dolphins have kind of put themselves in a position that if they have to do it, and remember, they're creating a lot of cap space for next year. They might have created themselves an option just in case to protect themselves. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I would say that last part that you just said, the just in case. So I think ideally you want Tyreek Hill to be a part of your team, foundationally a core piece to this group going forward. That's why you brought him on. That's why you traded 5 draft picks to get including high-end draft picks. So you want him performing at his highest level and helping to win all that, and in the Mike McDaniel offense. But I think he's given you enough reason to give yourself that leeway, give yourself that out in case these problems continue to stack up. And it is interesting that he wasn't one of the guys that was restructured, because really you had the most money to gain between him, Jalen Ramsey, and Bradley Chubb.
Message sent, buddy. Message sent. Okay.
Yeah. And there was even talks that maybe they were looking into an extension too. So it might not entirely be all that, but I think just with issues off the field continuing to stack up against them, then you do want to give yourself an out in case this happens. But you want to believe him. You want to believe that he's going to be a changed man at some point, even though every time he says it, then there's still something else that pops up. But you want to see him act and not just say it.
Yeah, and that's why I brought it up yesterday, because there's that option. It's there, and they've created it, and I think that's something that now I think people, whether it's writers or fans or talking heads, I think we need to go back to kind of looking a lot of times at the way these guys structure contracts, because Shore and company are pretty smart, and they keep themselves flexible, from one season to another. And one of the things that they're also doing, which I think it's kind of, it's kind of come up now after all these new free agent signings, when people then go back to break down these contracts, the Dolphins have done a really good job of designing these contracts in a way that gives them flexibility, correct?
Yeah, always. That's something that every time we have Chris Greer, whether it's at an end of season, whether it's draft time, then he's always coming back to that aspect, that flexibility that the Dolphins as an organization as a whole work together toward, from Stephen Ross at the ownership level, giving them that freedom because he's willing to spend, Brandon Shore doing the cap gymnastics and mathematics to make it all happen, and Chris Greer just being aligned with it in making the moves that could maximize all that extra space they use from the restructures, from going ahead and manipulating the cap, so while they're still spending more, getting guys paid, but keeping the cap hit low and adding the void years, doing all those things to
So I wonder, because when the offseason first started, okay, the Dolphins are taking a step back. The Dolphins are resetting. The Dolphins are going cheap in free agency. And then now hindsight is always 2020. But now I'm reading, okay, well, wait a minute. When you start looking at the positions from, some writers, not all, some are saying now, hey, wait a minute. They actually did a pretty good job of replacing a lot of these guys. Hey, by the way, they did a really good job with these contracts. Hey, by the way, Vegas now, instead of 9.5 and 8.5 the last 2 years, has them at 10.5, actually, the over and under. So everything went from, oh, well, this is a reset year, which I don't believe it's a reset year whatsoever, actually. I expect them to, because as we've talked before, the one magic thing that everybody keeps leaving out is, brother, they've been completely injured the last 2 years. If they're healthy or somewhat healthy pretty much, and most of those players are back, they're way better than they've been the last 2 years, just by health purposes. So is the perception of where the Dolphins were going, are at, or headed to a little bit different now after the month of free agency and everything else that's gone on? Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think everyone went into a little bit of a panic mode that first Monday when the Dolphins were at that point, down 3-4? Was it? They were down 4 players right before they ever got one signing, right? And then some of them, some key ones, obviously. Although you anticipated some of the big departures, Christian Wilkins, Rob Hunt, and then Andrew Van Ginkel. That one kind of hit because everyone really wanted to see him back with Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb's injury situation, but. I think there's a lot of factors into why maybe like Vegas is increasing the betting odds or increasing the win total over under for the season. One of them actually being that it helps them in 2024 that they lost the regular season finale, as odd as it is, to the Buffalo Bills and finished second in the division, because that created it where you are now going, instead of at Baltimore, you go at Cleveland in the AFC North. Instead of at Detroit, you go at Green Bay, which is still going to be a good team with, under Jordan Love. And what's the other one? Instead of in the AFC West, instead of hosting the Chiefs, they host the Raiders next year, who finished second in the AFC West. So there's 3 games there where those are on the Buffalo Bills schedule, the tougher ones, and the Dolphins have the easier of those 3 divisions. So things like that, and especially then you just look at the team naturally, the third year of Mike McDaniel in this offense. Another year where you have Tua still under his rookie contract, and then they're trying to get him extended, but just before that big money potentially hits. And then you have Tyreek Hill at 30. You have Jalen Ramsey at 29. These are some prime years for some key players. You still have Teron Armstead. So, yeah, this is a win now of season, regardless of what players were lost. You bring in some of the talent on the back end, and then still needing to fill in some holes. Obviously, defensive tackle, you lose a guy like Wilkins. You bring in several bodies that are probably going to be in a rotation, but you still don't have the talent to accompany Zach Sealer on that line, really form that 1A, 1B tandem like you did have. Interior offensive line, still got to work some things out, but you still have to draft, and you still have the later stages of free agency, especially when you have extra money coming in post June 1 with the $18.5 million from the Xavier Howard release.
Yeah, no, you're right. The only thing I don't ever do, I stopped doing that several years ago. I don't play the schedule game, because the schedule game for me is kind of dangerous, and you don't really know, like Green Bay or Detroit. Is it really that much of a difference? They're both just as good. It's going to be a pain in the ass to play either one.
No, Detroit went to the NFC Championship game, and now Green Bay did also make the playoffs, but kind of that they were that last seed actually, but that they were impressive in that game against the Cowboys, and then held their own very well against the 49ers. So they probably have some high hopes for themselves as well.
Yeah, in 2022, I'll go just to have a little fun. I'll go over the schedule. They ended up beating Buffalo 21-19. They beat Baltimore in Baltimore 42-38 when they had that, that massive comeback. They beat Pittsburgh. They beat and these are teams that probably they would have, people would have picked against them at the beginning. It's, oh no, they're not going to beat Buffalo. Oh, they're not going to beat Baltimore, and they went and beat those teams. You know what I mean? Hell, they opened up and beat New England. Nowadays, you say, oh, they're going to beat New England. 3 years ago, you're like, I don't know if they're going to beat New England. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like it's funny like that. The San Fran, okay, you can predict that they're going to lose. At Buffalo, they're going to lose. They lost to Green Bay that year. They lost at New England that year. So it's hard for me to predict regular seasons because you just don't know who's going to be good, who's not, who's going to be injured, who's going to be healthy, all of those kind of things. But to me, if Vegas thinks 10.5, brother, it's changed. I've won the last 2 years with the Dolphins, the over. Now you're making it harder for me now. Now I got to get to 11 wins for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. I feel like the Dolphins historically are a team that the odds underestimate because the odds are based largely on bettor perception. So it's just kind of like what the masses believe about a team. So I think when you have the masses outside of Miami that don't believe in Tua, don't know much about McDaniel, and think this and that about the Dolphins, then you end up with these lower win totals. But I think now the Dolphins have had a couple seasons where teams can see them and that they were brushing up against the number one seed deep into the season, and then they only lost it at the end because of all these injuries. So that does result in an increase in the win total over under, because now a lot more people in the masses outside of Dolphins fans and those who follow the team are kind of becoming aware of what the Dolphins have been building over some time now.
Have you heard anything on Odell? Because I haven't heard anything myself on my end, by the way.
Yeah, I think it's been quiet on that front. Just the last thing was, when McDaniel said that they did indeed offer him on that visit that was last week. And, and like you said, nothing imminent right now. So I don't think anything has become more imminent in this past week. So I think now we're kind of at a stand. And also the Dolphins brass has been out going to pro days. We know they were at the Texas one, the Michigan one within this past week, just at owners meetings early this week. So they've had a lot of other things on the docket. So I think maybe that'll pick back up pretty soon, or maybe Odell wants to take his time, take another visit. So we'll see how that plays out.
We'll wrap it up with this. Would you use now in the new return rules Tyreek, Waddle, Achane as returners? Because I would. I have no problem. They're not coming from 40 yards downfield at 100 miles an hour. They've got blocking right in. It's really like a running play. So for me, I don't have a problem. Now, not Tyreek all the time. It's the fourth quarter. You're down by a score. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's when I would use Tyreek. But Waddle and Achane, I wouldn't mind sprinkling them in every once in a while in this new return game. Now, I also think that this will lead you to trying to find a receiver / returner in the draft, maybe in that fifth round, right? Fifth, right? They don't have a third and a fourth, right?
Yeah, third and a fourth at this moment.
So maybe in the fifth they can find some kind of a returner and bring them in. I can see them doing that too. But let's say, for shits and giggles, you don't go draft a returner, you don't really sign one, you have your roster right now. Would you use those guys and sprinkle them in as returners?
Yeah, and you have so many options on the roster right now, so I don't think you need to go and get another specialist, because you have so many fast guys. You have Berrios, who knows how to be be active in the return game and has done that for years. So I would like to see some of those superstars sprinkled in. Now, I don't know about rotating too many of them, because then I don't want too many different guys handling the kicks and punts. Well, we're talking about kickoff specifically. I don't want too many different guys where maybe they get one chance in a game, because then someone comes in cold, hasn't really practiced that much at it. You have to get all these guys reps too, and then you don't want a guy dropping one, and then that's catastrophic. So maybe if you have either Tyreek or Achane that they get their fair share of practice, along with Barrios to be secure with it, and then situationally you decide when you feel like, all right, it's kind of worth it right now. Let's go for it, because in reality it is another play. And I think Mike McDaniel has expressed, going back to his first year and receiving questions about whether he'd use a Tyreek Hill first year that he had him in the return game, and he always seemed a little bit open to it, although he never really acted too much on putting him back there. But describing those special teams plays as, another play, the same way it would be on offense. So it's another opportunity to move the ball down the field. So why not? Especially in key situations, why not go ahead and use the best talent you have carrying the football with the ball in his hands that can hit these top speeds and next-gen stats have laid out for us, that these guys are going 22 miles per hour while carrying the football. Why not give them a shot in that setting?
Cool stuff. All right, what do you got going on in the Sun Sentinel so folks can check you out?
Yeah, myself and my colleague Chris Perkins, we're going into next week about to start really rolling out some draft content. So we're going to be breaking down, I break down a lot of the Dolphins' current roster at different positions. He looks at a lot of the draft prospects, and then we alternate putting out mock drafts. So that's going to be a lot of what April has in store for us coming up. Any
truth you got a punter in the first round?
Yeah, only in fantasy football. Only in fantasy football.
Follow him on Twitter at David Furones _ catch his exceptional work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. David, as always, thank you, my brother. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Have a great weekend.
You got it. There you go, David Furones. And make sure you subscribe to the South Florida Sun Sentinel and save this number, because if you may not need a lawyer right now, but you might need one next week, next month, 6 months from now. And you're going to go, man, who are those guys that Big O talks about all the time? Jeff Welt, Daniel Rayom. That's right, Welton Ray. But you want to know the number. Save it on that cell phone, 954-966-4646. The consultation is completely free.
This has been another session of the Welton Rayom Miami Dolphins Report with David Furones. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help.
All right. Let's see what do we got here. First concert was Black Sabbath and Van Halen in 1978, says Brian. Wow, that is awesome. Good morning, Big O and Sean from Western Pennsylvania. I'm off of work today. Got you on the big screen. Thank you, One-Eyed Jack. Appreciate you, my brother. Thank you. How about Xavier Howard saying it's not about the money anymore? He just wants to go somewhere that makes it past the first round into the Super Bowl. It wasn't like a backhanded shot. If you listen to the interview, he just wants to win. They all say the same shit. The guy wants a job. No big deal. He hasn't had a lot of success with the Dolphins. I mean, neither did Jason Taylor. It's just kind of the way it goes, dude. That's our history. It's not a shot. It's the reality. Dolphins don't have a lot of success in the playoffs. Either you make it or you barely even win a game. That's kind of been our MO for 40 years, dude. You know, let's not get too touchy about the truth. You know, and the truth is, any player that leaves here has not had a lot of success. And when they want to go somewhere else where they would like to go deep into the playoffs and win a Super Bowl, it's not a shot. It's the reality. And that's what Mike McDaniel has to fix. And that's what Cam Cameron and Joe Philbin and Tony Sperano, rest in peace, and every other coach tried to fix. And they couldn't fix. Because that's been who our team is forever. It's not a shot. It's the reality. So let's just deal with it. It is what it is. Finn should not go down this road with OBJ. There's enough distractions in South Beach. He hasn't really done nothing the last couple of years. He's been fine. The Rams with Baltimore, he's been fine. I'm not an OBJ fan, but we have to be objective, and some of us are still living in the past. And the guy actually has been a fine citizen in the last couple of places he's been. He hasn't caused any issues whatsoever. And that's the truth. And he's not going to be the focal point of the offense here. Again, which is, I think, something that a lot of people keep missing. He's not being offered a big contract. He's offered a smaller contract with incentives. He's a complimentary player. He has to understand that. And that's it. That's all. So it's really under those kind of terms. I don't have a problem with it. Safe to say we will all breathe a sigh of relief once this Tyreek Hill, Jimmy Butler contracts finish out. Yay and nay. Because we don't know what's on the other side. You know what I'm saying? And plenty of fans will tolerate some of the crap. If Butler makes another crazy ass run to the finals or the Eastern Conference Finals, you're going to say, well, dude, the regular season sucks, but he did it again. Like, how can we complain? He's winning at the most important time. And he put himself in this hole, right, of being the 7 or 8 seed or whatever. And he dug himself out of it. Is it the right thing to do? No. But if he keeps digging himself out of the hole, it's like, no, don't throw that pass. Whoa, yeah. It's like, the guy threw across his body in triple coverage, and Justin Jefferson came down with it. Okay? Because you threw it to Justin freaking Jefferson. Okay? You threw it to D-Hop in his prime. You threw it to this dominant force that's being covered by 3 guys. I remember Tony Gonzalez coming here one year. I don't know. You remember that? And Tony Gonzalez caught everything against the Dolphins. And we had 2 or 3 guys on him and some guy named Cameron something. And it was like a disaster of an outing that year against Kansas City. And Tony Gonzalez single-handedly sliced us apart, And it's just like one of those deals. Like, you threw a bad pass, but because it was to a great player that was just an unstoppable force, that's where oh, yeah. And that's kind of what it is. That's the feeling. Oh, man. So I don't know. I don't know what holds, If Jimmy Butler leaves, then what's left? Riley's had a really tough time bringing stars. By the way, Wade brought this star also. If it's not for Wade and Butler playing together, dude, there's a place for you. Yeah, and it's called Miami. Really? Oh, yeah, dude. You'll like it there. And so he recruited Shaq, and he recruited Bosch, and he recruited Butler. Hasn't been Riley. So when the Butler era ends, okay, the frustrating regular seasons will end. But will you have great regular seasons and not so good postseasons now? So then wouldn't we want to switch? Most of us aren't really paying for those seats in the regular season. Yes, sir.
I was say, is it really going to be any less frustrating of a regular season if Butler leaves? Because
right,
it really might going to not care about the regular season for the Miami Heat.
Right. With Tyreek, it's a different kind of frustration. It's the knuckleheaded shit. There is some frustration when he plays because he does have a tendency of dropping some big passes. I don't know why, but it's just weird. But really, it's more the offseason stuff. So it's more of a frustration that Tyreek Hill cannot behave like a normal person. Whereas with Jimmy, you hate that he doesn't take the regular season serious. But, be careful what you ask for. Because I remember when Shula, the game's passed him by. And then people kick Shula out. And then guess what? Nobody that's replaced Shula has been better than Shula, even on his worst days. It got so bad with Shula. This is what we used to say. Oh, Shula can only make the playoffs now. Oh, yeah, no, first round. Maybe he wins a first-round game. Oh, the game's passed him by. And then everybody pushes Shula out the door only to just add coaches that can't even make the playoffs, much less win a game. So be careful what you ask for. Because before you say, oh, well, it's over the hill for this person or that person, be sure about what's coming next. Because I've seen it when people think it's, oh, yeah, no, Jimmy Johnson's, it's better for us to get rid of the old man and let's bring in Jimmy Johnson. And Jimmy, all he did was get thoroughly embarrassed in the playoffs constantly with the Miami Dolphins. Constantly. It didn't end up better. And it didn't get better with everybody else that followed. So be careful. Be careful what you ask for. Yeah, Tyreek's a little frustrating, but man, that's a hell of a player. Okay? And Jimmy Butler, yeah, regular seasons are frustrating, but the postseasons have been magical. So I don't know what you want to trade off for. Are you guaranteed that you're going to get the stars again? Because Riley hasn't been able to get a star. Again, Wade brought Butler. Wade brought Bosch and LeBron. So the last 15 years, Riley has not been bringing in any whales. Oh, yeah, Whiteside. Yeah. So think about that. Okay? So, yeah, it's frustrating, but let's not be so quick to end it. Okay? All right, let's go. Hour number 2. Manny Navarro's ready to go. Let's talk a little Miami Hurricanes right here on the Big O Radio Show, live from Acura of Pembroke Pines.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. If you're a Miami sports fan, there's only one store to go to, and that's Canes Wear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2655 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Canes Wear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop. Time for Canes fans to get what they want. Information, insight, and perspective. It's the Canes Wear Miami Hurricanes Report with Manny Navarro. Exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. Here's Big O and insider Manny Navarro.
All right. Manny, have you hung out a lot in Hiialeah over the years?
Yes, I have, sir.
So let me ask you something. What restaurants have you eaten at in Hiialeah?
Oof. So many, man. I'm trying to think of I just ate there.
Any staples?
God, what's the name? It's closer to Opalaka. Even it's like on the outskirts of Hiialeah. It's a Latin place. I just ate there the other day with my friends, and I hadn't eaten there in a few years. And I was like, wow, the food here is so good. It's like a Cuban place, and I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head for some reason now that you put me on the spot. Obviously, there's La Carreta that, is a staple.
Off of 16th by behind Westline Mall.
Yes, but the other place, God, why I can't remember now. And now you're making me look it up, brother. I got to look this up now because it's probably
yesterday. Every Thursday I'm at Hiialeah Park, right?
Yeah,
I went to Hiialeah High, and I lived in Hiialeah for several years.
Mm-hmm. And by the way, 3 years I lived in Hiialeah.
And so I go to my wife. You've never eaten at Chico's.
Chico's, okay.
And Chico's is off of 12th, and it's like on 44th or something because it's before 49th Street.
Right.
Gus Machado is there on that corner. Well, then you go down, and Chico's restaurant has been there. It opened in 1980.
Oh, wow.
So 44 years. Yeah, because I go to her. I asked them the waitress. I go, 81 did it open? She went and looked, and no 80. And so I was off by a year. Because I remember going when it first opened and all that, and I went there, and the last time I went there was like maybe 1989.
Okay.
And so yesterday I went with the wife to have una palomilla and moro and some burritos, and brother, it was delicious.
Yes.
It was fantastic, and I was like, wow. My wife loved it too. She also had she had rice and beans. I had moro. And so, we tried it, and it was like I hadn't eaten at that restaurant in 30-some years, bro. And it was still good, bro. It was still good. That was pretty cool.
I remember the name now. I just looked it up. Molina's Ranch.
Oh, Molina's. Yes.
Awesome steaks. Unbelievably good food.
Yeah.
So
Sarrusi is another one.
Yeah.
There's different restaurants that are actually still there. Some of them are still there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
So
they got the old school Cuban waiters who, they bring you the bread right away with the water within seconds, and you're
off and running. Yeah, dude. I had the garlic bread right away there at Chico's. Yeah, so if anybody knows about Chico's, I just want you to know the food is still fantastic there, bro. Still fantastic. Had an excellent meal. I mean, it's like I drove home going. Well, actually, the wife drove home, but I'm going home and I'm like, damn, that meal, that was one of the better follow meals I've had in a while, and it was like, that was good. That was good. All right, so what's the latest in the recruiting cycle for the boys?
Well, I mean, look, they're up to 5 commitments. There's going to be a kid who's announcing this weekend, Tarvos Alford, who's a top 100 linebacker from Vero Beach High School. Miami was in it for him for a long time. I think at one point they were the favorite, but looks like he's going to pick Ohio State when he announces tomorrow. But they got a ton of kids that they're after, man. And like I told you last week, this is sort of the silly season of recruiting, where kids do these commitments and then they go and they take official visits anyway in the summer. And so to me, the way the recruiting cycle has changed, the NCAA has changed things quite a bit, where now it's early December where guys are going to be signing, versus before it was the third Wednesday in December. that takes away a lot of the late visits. So Miami's strategy when it comes to recruiting has to change a little bit. They got to put more of an emphasis on in-season visits and getting guys to come during the middle of the football season so that they get the last word in. But, right now there's a lot of guys that they're after. There's a bunch of top 100 recruits that they're in on. Big time receivers, big time linebackers, defensive. It's a typical Mario recruiting effort. DJ Pickett, who's the number one player in the state, cornerback, is supposed to be here this weekend. So, they're going to have people in and out for unofficial visits. But the reality is the nitty gritty is the summertime. June, the end of May, beginning of June. That's the time that's most important, because that's really, I think, when the elite kids now pick the school that they're really going to sign with, and they start thinking, okay, those NIL checks are coming in, those type of things start to happen. And that's when those commitments become real.
What are you hearing about Cam Ward, bro? How's he ingratiating himself? How's he fitting in? How's he trying to lead? Those kind of things. What do you hear about the it factor and that kind of stuff? Because King came in and immediately started to kind of put his imprint on everything, and people gravitated to him also automatically. So what are you hearing about Cam Ward in that sense?
Yeah, I think look, he's definitely won his teammates over. We talked about this on previous shows. He took a bunch of guys, a bunch of the offensive linemen, all 18 of them, out to go eat at one of the local steakhouses and spent thousands, right, feeding his guys. All you hear from Mario over and over again whenever Mario talks to the media is, this guy is an alpha male. He's the guy who's not going to be afraid to say something in the huddle, which is different than Tyler Van Dyke was. Tyler Van Dyke, not all quarterbacks are built the same. Some guys let their play do the talking. Other guys get in the huddle like Dan Marino used to do and scream at guys, right? And guys, he's like, you better catch this ball, right? I'm going to you on this next play. You better make the catch. Cam Ward is the kind of guy who I think can back it up, right, with his play, with the fact that he can make plays with his legs, that he can escape the pocket. Even when other guys don't do their job, he will go above and beyond to extend the play. So I think he's got the respect of his teammates. Obviously, you can't really prove anything to them until the games start. But I think right now he's won them over. He's won the coaching staff over, certainly. And I think, it looks like it's going to lead to good things. I had a long conversation yesterday with Malik Rozier, who, of course, is the only quarterback in the last 20 years to lead Miami Hurricanes to a 10-win season, by the way. And Malik has been out to several practices, and, he told me, I asked him, I said, what's most impressive about Cam? And he says the fact that he doesn't feel the heat at all. He never, anytime a defensive lineman comes in or there's blitz from a certain side, he sidesteps it with such ease, and he makes it look so easy. Right, the way he just sort of evades pressure, that he looks calm and in control of the offense. It's not going to be anything here where he's going to make mistakes because he's being rushed. He knows what he's doing, and that's what Miami paid for ultimately. That's why they paid him over $1 million to come here and play quarterback.
Okay, now part 2 might be an unfair question to ask you because things have to develop.
Right,
but is the plan Williams as the backup quarterback? Because, okay, you're going to run a certain kind of offense with Cam because you're running off his athleticism. So, So is your backup going to be somebody that has the same kind of skill set, or is your backup going to be a pure pocket passer that then you're going to have to kind of change the offense if, God forbid, there's an injury to Cam? So what is that approach as that number 2 quarterback?
It's a good question. I'll say this. Emory Williams is going to redshirt this year. I don't think he's going to play whatsoever. I think, the fact that he didn't get a redshirt last year because Miami needed him because of what happened to Tyler Van Dyke with his struggles. He didn't get to redshirt last year. I think every intention this year is to make sure that he redshirts. So the 2 other backups would be Jakari Brown and Reese Poffenbarger. Both of them are much more mobile quarterbacks than Emory Williams. So in terms of having to change the offense, I don't think there's going to be much in the way of the way it changes, except that Cam Ward clearly is on a different level.
Better skill.
Yes. His skills are much more refined than the two guys that would be competing to be his backup. So
what he's trying to tell you, folks, is that Cam's accurate, Jakari's not. Okay, that's just trying. That's all he's trying to say. That's all it is, So
yeah. Well, I'll say this. I think Reese Poffenbarger has come in, the kid that came in from Albany, and the coaching staff has said nothing but great things about him. And you watch him play. I think he's a very solid backup quarterback. I think if Miami had to turn to Reese Poffenbarger and say, hey, we need you to start the next 3 games because Cam Ward has a sprained ankle, I don't think Miami would lose all 3 games. I don't think, I don't know that Miami would necessarily win all 3 games, but I think they could certainly have a chance to win all 3 games. He's that kind of a guy who is experienced. He's put up decent numbers, and he looks like he's a good fit for the offense. He's just not as good as Cam Ward, not even on the same level.
Yeah, that's why I asked, because the skill sets are different, and we've seen that many times, pro, college.
Yeah,
that, you'd like to kind of have the same skill set following the next guy, but if you don't, and that's where I asked, because Williams to me looks like the second best quarterback after Cam. Again, right. I don't know much about Poffenbarger. I haven't seen much. I've seen enough of Jakari to kind of, accuracy for me is something that, if you don't have it, I don't think you're ever really going to get it, to be quite honest. That's just kind of the way it goes, the way I see it. But anyway, that's why I asked that, because I kind of find that intriguing, because right. Williams is your best talent, I think, as your number 2 quarterback. But I understand Cam's here for a short time. Let's try to extend Williams' career. And that poor kid, he sacrificed last year, man. I mean,
yep.
Your heart goes out to him for last year.
Yeah, and I'll say this for Emory. I think he was certainly a guy that going into his freshman year last year, you wanted to redshirt. You didn't want to have to play him at all. You in a perfect world, Tyler Van Dyke takes every snap, and he's playing at a high level, and he gets to come into this season and compete for a starting job. But he was basically forced to be the backup quarterback because Jakari Brown was essentially just being redshirted. He chose to be redshirted. So it is what it is. I think, I would be shocked if Cam Ward gets injured this year, because he is going to be playing with a much better offensive line than he had at Washington State. He's got really, really good receivers. I think this could potentially be a huge year for him, where he puts up huge numbers, and Miami has the kind of season I think it really needs in year 3 under Mario Cristobal.
All right, what are you working on at the Athletic, my friend?
Well, those all-state recruiting teams that I've been working on forever, it feels like, are finally going to start coming out next week. We'll have Florida and Georgia, those 2 teams, the best recruits to come out of those states since in the modern recruiting era since 2002. I'll have a University of Miami story, sort of a notebook with thoughts from people who actually been out to practice and watched it, former players and coaches and people who get to watch everything out there to get their opinions and thoughts. So there'll be a couple stories finally coming out. I'll tell you, the Athletic's like, listen, man, everybody's into the NCAA tournament right now. There's not much going on with football. He says, unless there's really some important news, let's just let the basketball hype, the gamblers enjoy their NCAA basketball time. So
I don't like. It's like people, hey, to start forcing stories and just to stir shit up. I don't need to do that shit.
There's really nothing going on, brother. There's really nothing. When you go out to those practices, there's so many guys out. There's really the competition is just the guys trying to show the coaches, hey, I might be able to be used this coming fall. That's all it is. That's all that's going on.
Yeah, it's like I don't like to, like some guy, hey, you think Tua will hold out? I go, bro, that's forced content, bro. Like, come on, bro. Tua's not going to hold out. Why am I going to start doing that kind of stuff? I'm not doing that. I'm not just going to create content to just create content. And I get it. Some people have to do it in order because their bosses require it. You have to do it sometimes, Right. It sucks, but it's kind of part of it. But sometimes we just have to be honest, bro. There isn't really much going on. What do you want me to tell you?
Right.
Just, you know what I mean? And even that, I thought we came up with some interesting topics here, just to, on the case.
No, listen, we could talk about stuff, but writing stories, to me, it's a different medium. We're having a conversation. When we got to sit here and write stuff, there's no reason to force it, and that's what I appreciate working at the Athletic for. It's, hey, you don't force a story. Don't just put something out because you
Right.
feel obligated. Write something that's worthwhile. Write something that's
Exactly.
interesting and different, and so that's what we try to do.
Yeah, no, especially you. One of the things I love about your work is you do a lot of profile pieces.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of stuff, a lot of, investigative or a lot of stat stuff, a lot of, to me, that's what the off season is about.
Yeah.
Instead of just trying to create some kind of controversy where there isn't a controversy. And it's like, you're just trying to force views and hits. Yeah, that just,
Yeah. That's what I love about The Athletic. We don't do that.
yeah, clickbait. Like, it's no need for that. All right, follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. Catch his work there. No clickbait. At The Athletic, getting it done, and subscribe as always. Manny, have a great weekend, my brother. We'll catch up on Tuesday.
Good talking to you. Take care.
Thank you, sir. Caneswear. Go visit Brett and all the great people at Caneswear, man. Caneswear.com. Use our code BIG010. You will get 10% off. And online, by the way, wherever you're at, you can get free shipping when you order over $99. They got anything and everything practically with a Canes logo on it. Dolphins, Marlins, Panthers, Heat gear, Inter Miami. Get a messy shirt, man. Come on, let's go. Check it out at Caneswear.com.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at Caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
Thank you, sir. Joseph says, I'm late, but I'm here. That's all that matters, my friend. Thank you, sir. Oh, what's the root cause for Dolphins' 25 years of mediocrity? Is it GM, players, coaches, everything? It's just been a mix of everything. When you don't get the right combination, Troy, it's hard. You might have the coach, but you don't have the front office or the quarterback. You might have the quarterback, but you don't have the defense or the running game. And it's been more than 25 years, my brother. A lot of the Shula years were bad, too, on the back end. We completely underachieved with Marino because we never had the team around him. We never had the right combination. Shula was not a good GM on the back end, So there's always a lot of that stuff going on, man. You have to have the right combination. Taking bong loads while watching Big O. Wake and bake, Fins Nation says, think Blue Dodgers. Put the dog in his kennel, then release him for the regular season. Wish it was that simple. So do I. Sean O. Burger King announced a deal with the Marlins. Yes, we talked about it yesterday, but only a Whopper Jr. And by the way, you're not going to eat a lot of them because they're not going to win a lot.
We're going to call that the Marlins diet.
Right, we're on the Marlins
Get a Whopper
diet.
Jr.
Whopper Jr.
Whenever they win.
That's it. Crema de la Clutch Exotic says, what up, O? If you're in Hialeah, go to Chico's. That's where I went, bro.
That, just to give you some context, that came across right when you asked Manny the question. That he responded, because I was going to be like, somebody's already talked about because we were discussing it beforehand.
Yeah,
and
Chico's is a staple, dude. And I've been going to Chico's since I was a kid. Frankie's a big Chico's guy. He says back in the day, Apollo Theater was right around the corner. That's right. What's it called? I saw The Lion King at the Apollo when it first came out. Frankie says the price of the food at Chico's has gone up a little bit, still affordable. Yeah. But it's but you know what? My wife and I were looking at the price. Go, yeah, it's but then the Palomilla was big and the Moro was. The difference is a lot of places they're charging you more, but the serving is smaller, actually. So Chico's gives you a large serving. They're charging you, but they give you a large serving, and it was so good, bro. It's like I want to go back right now to go have another Palomilla and Moro. I mean, it was so good, dude. So good. I really enjoyed the hell out of it. Frankie, thank you for the love in the super chat. So Chico's used to be 24/7. You are correct. After the pandemic, they changed it. Now they actually close. But my parents and I would always go to Chico's after the church from San Lazaro. Great place to eat. Yep. Love that place. That's why I was yesterday. We got out of Hiialeah Park and I go, you've never eaten at Chico's. And I'm sure it's still there and it's been here forever. Let's go. And she goes, what is it? What if it's not good anymore? And I go, it's been open for 44 years. Well, at that moment, I didn't say 44. I said it's been open like 40 years, because I knew it was like 80. I thought it was 81. And I said, when a restaurant's open for 40 years, 20 years, forget about it. They know what the hell they're doing, because restaurants will not open for a long time. They will close down eventually if they don't have quality, if they don't have the good food, because people will not come back. But if you're open for 44 years, that means your regulars are habitual, like Frankie and his parents. I can't say I'm habitual because I haven't been there since the 80s. But, I moved out. What do you want me to do? Pretty cool. Pretty cool. But Chico's, still good, man. Still good. Still really good. Let's get to our 3A Graphics sports calendar. Why don't we, sir? Alan Blanco and the great people at 3A Graphics, custom printing and embroidery. Islanders beat the Panthers last night, depressing 3-2. Tomorrow they will take on Detroit at 12:30. Pirates over the Marlins, 6-5 in 12 innings. Marlins didn't score a run after the 6th inning. Luzardo was all right. 5 innings, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 8 Ks. Did a nice job. Jake Berger was studly, 3 of 4, 3 RBIs. So tonight it'll be at 7:10, Lone Depot Park, Martin Perez and AJ Puck. Right, you said? Okay, AJ dropped the puck. Tonight at 8 o'clock at the Kaseya Center. The Heat are taking on the lowly Blazers, so maybe they'll win since they are taking on a 19-win team. And then tomorrow, good luck to Nova Southeastern University. They are going for their 2nd national title. The Division II basketball championship is tomorrow, and NSU is taking on the number 1 seed, Minnesota State University of Mankato. 3 o'clock on CBS. If you want to watch it, I will watch it tomorrow and be cheering on Nova. That is our 3A Graphics sports calendar. Yes.
Michelle Kaufman, I know we already talked about this, but no Messi against NYCFC.
Yes.
But the team hopes to have him back for the Champions Cup game versus Monterey next Wednesday, which tells me they're just going to hold him out until the championship game. As you said, they're picking which games, too, though, they want to take that chance with, I guess.
Yeah. But, I mean, you got Suarez and company. You should be able to win. How about him getting a better defensive front, dude? Jesus, our defense sucks, man. The Miami Sharks will play this Sunday. First rugby team in South Florida history. All right, Frankie. I did not know that. I knew that we had the rugby team, but I did not know that they were playing right now. I heard about that, but I was not aware of it at all. By the way, the Spring into Performance sales event is going on right now here at Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. They got 1.9% financing for 36 months. The 2024 Integra, you can get it for $299 a month. The RDX is $419 a month, and the MDX is $489 a month. Plus, I'm looking at it now. There is a lot here full of certified pre-owned vehicles, so you can get some great deals on a certified pre-owned vehicle. Come on out here. It's the end of the month. They are the number 1 volume sales dealership in the United States. So they want to move vehicles. So get on down here and take advantage, because they will make you a deal. Tell them that Big O sent you here at Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. What else do we have going on in the world of deportes? Let's get into little birthdays today. Why don't we do that today? All right. Starting off, Pretty good, huh? Yeah, that's birthdays for you. I mean, so far, I can't see anybody that really is worth mentioning. Seriously, I've gone through 2 levels of it already, and I never go that far without mentioning one person. Wow, this is bad. I didn't even look at this before to see how bad it was. This is really bad. Lucy Lawless, we finally have something. 56 years old today. Xena, Princess Warrior. Brendan Gleeson, movie actor, 69. I mean, this is bad. Elle McPherson, 60. It ends there. That's it. This is one of the weakest birthdays I have ever seen in my entire life. That's pretty damn bad on a day like today. It's a Good Friday. On a Good Friday. Who's Michael PSA?
Michael P.S. Hayes. He was one of the
P.S.
Freebirds.
Hayes.
Yeah, he still works behind the scenes in WWE. But
Okay. All right.
yeah,
Well,
he's
there
an
you
old
go.
school guy.
How old is he?
He is, let's see. Now I got to do math. Hold on a minute.
87?
He's from 59.
He's 59?
Yeah, 1959 he was born.
he's
born in
born in
1959.
59, okay.
Yeah, so,
All right.
so,
All right, let's go with the little music
65,
history
I
today. In 1975, on this date, Led Zeppelin saw all 6 of their albums in the top 100 in the same week. Their latest record, Physical Graffiti, topped the charts. In 86, Australian singer Falco started a 3-week run on the number 1 singles charts with Rock Me Amadeus, 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 making him the first German-speaking artist with a U.S. number 1. In 2007, Bono accepted an honorary knighthood at ceremony in Dublin. In 80, on this date, Pink Floyd broke a record for most weeks on the album charts with The Dark Side of the Moon. It spent 303 weeks on the Billboard 200. The record was previously held by Carole King's 1971 Tapestry, which, what a great album Tapestry is. And Carole King is a goddess. In 87, Starship's hit Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now topped the singles charts. In 2005, Neil Young had brain surgery after he suffered an aneurysm. In 67, the Beatles worked at Abbey Road Studios on a song called Badfinger Boogie, which would go on to be renamed With a Little Help from My Friends. And that, my friends, is what happened today in Musica history. All right? All right? All right. By the way, we are going to have a solar eclipse. Just want to remind you all. Okay? So you can buy special glasses. I know Donald Trump doesn't. He likes to look up straight at, that's not suggested, but some people aren't too bright. But on April 8th, the moon will pass between the Earth and the sun, temporarily blocking the sun's light. During the celestial alignment, afternoon skies will darken for a short time along a path of more than 100 miles wide, which cuts across Mexico, parts of the U.S., and a small section of eastern Canada. Those outside of the so-called path of totality will be able to see a partial solar eclipse with the moon obscuring only part of the sun. To view the spectacle safely, you can wear specialized glasses. Well, some people. Or build a pinhole projector. But do not try to view the eclipse through normal sunglasses or use tools like telescope to watch it, even while wearing proper glasses, unless they're equipped with special filters. You hearing that, orangutan? So, enjoy. You're going to build a kaleidoscope? That makes sense. The 8th of April. Okay. You got about a week, a little over a week to get prepared for it. Okay. So take advantage. All right.
Couple Marlin victories, some Whopper Juniors, and build the kaleidoscope. I'll be ready.
Yes.
Productive week.
I would say so. I would call that very productive week. So Hard Knocks is doing an in-season edition in the NFL, but it's going to be division. So the NFL is making a significant change to the in-season edition of the critically acclaimed HBO series Hard Knocks during the 24 campaign. According to Mike Garafolo, NFL Chief Media and Business Officer Brian Rolap said Tuesday that the 24 in-season Hard Knocks will focus on an entire division rather than a single team. Rolap added that the NFL has yet to decide which of its 8 divisions will be subject to the docuseries. So let me tell you the good and the bad of this. Selfishly. So the bad, well, now it's not a single team. The good is that, the Dolphins were already picked, so they weren't going to get picked again for any of them. But if you pick the AFC East, we get a little Dolphins love, baby. So I don't mind getting more Dolphins. I know it sucked towards the end of the year because of the way the season ended, but I still enjoyed the Hard Knocks. I still enjoyed a better look at our team and players and coaches and all that kind of stuff. So I don't mind, and I kind of like the in-season because then you have the drama of the race for that division. So it's pretty cool, and you have 4 teams now. So now you have a plethora of storylines that you can go after. So if nothing's going on with the one team you're filming, it might be kind of lame, and then you've got to try to manufacture like some people do in our business. But this way, it's kind of more natural because if you're following 4 teams, there's going to be some drama, there's going to be some suspense and all that kind of stuff going on. So I actually don't mind it. And it gives me a chance to get my Dolphins on again. So I'm good. Selfishly, I'm good.
Do you think they're going to go with the AFC East, though? I mean, ultimately, yes, but I mean...
Buffalo and Miami and the Jets with the vice president at quarterback?
Yeah, but when you're doing in season, you're going toward the end of the season. I feel like Patriots are out. Jets are going to be
Rodgers will be close to running for his campaign.
No, didn't he get denied? Didn't
he did?
RFK come out and say he didn't want to have him or something like that? Or he said he didn't want to do, I don't know, whatever.
No, I heard he named his.
I heard it wasn't going to be Mr. Rogers. That's all I was worried. Could have Rogers' neighborhood.
I'm just saying it's just so much drama that.
Yeah, maybe. I guess maybe drama-wise. It's just I feel like they're going to go more for.
They could. It could be another division. It could be the.
I'm trying
NFC
to think though.
East.
Now, who would it be? Like right now, if you look at the divisions.
Well, Philly and the Cowboys, right? Redskins aren't. I'm sorry.
You're almost looking at the Norths, I believe. Like those are always the more competitive divisions.
Well, Pittsburgh does have a quarterback now.
Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Baltimore.
Yeah, and Cincy.
That's
a good one.
That's a good as far as for heading toward the end. And again, this is talking right now. We don't know what's going to happen because Burrows doesn't come back or he's injured or whatever. Then that changes everything. Complexion.
Yeah, no.
When you look at it right now, I gotta say it's going to be like the AFC North or.
That's good. That's a good one.
Because even in the West, it's what the Chiefs,
just the
Chargers.
Chiefs. No, there's no Chargers are done.
Well, you got Harbaugh now, so that makes
but they're rebuilding, bro. They tore up that team.
Yeah.
That team has cap issues, so they're not going to be nearly as competitive as they could be if they would have kept everybody.
Who's the NFC North?
And the Raiders ain't shit.
North is what? Green Bay. Oh, that's the Green Bay division, right? NFC North.
Green Bay,
Minnesota.
Yeah.
So that's
Green Bay, Detroit.
Yeah, you do have that.
Minnesota, and what am I missing? Green Bay, Detroit, Chicago sucks.
Oh, yeah.
Well, although
you'll have the number 1 pick.
Yeah.
So there's some. I think one of the Norths might take it.
Intrigue. Yeah. But I don't mind. I don't mind a whole division.
I think it's better because at the end of ours, it got to where every episode was an injury.
Yeah, and
the focus became what the bad part of.
And that's a great point you make up because if in that division one team's having injuries, you focus less on that and you
Mhm.
focus on the race going on with the
Yes.
other ones that are healthier. And
Instead of having to, because like you said, they had to have something for the show,
right,
and it so happened to be the Andrew Phillips injury.
yeah,
The
injury after
Yes.
injury after injury. Big O predicts Trump's VP. It's really weird because either way we're not going to win. But as a Bitcoin guy, I win more if sorry ass Trump gets in there. Actually, yeah, if Trump gets in there, I win because more Republicans understand Bitcoin than the dumbass Democrats on the Bitcoin side. You know what I'm saying? So it's really weird. It's odd because I certainly can't trust Biden when it comes to Bitcoin. By the way, where are we? Stuck at 70? Let's see. Any shot at it going up right now? Let's see. Nope, 69,768. So yeah, stuck right around 70. It's where we've been for several days, almost a week. Oh man. Okay. Let's see. Pearl Bailey. Big O WrestleMania is next week. Will you be watching? No. Pendle. Oh yeah. Pendle's like 450 now. Think about that, man. We gave you Pendle like at $1.34. And where's it at right now? Let's see. Pendle is up 6% to 443. Crazy, dude. And we got it at $1.34. I'm loving it, man. Van R chain doing good. It's a little down right now, but it's there in the 28-cent range. We gave it to you at like 5.5 cents, 6 cents. So my new one is Shrapnel. It's at 28 cents. Okay. It's gonna be a popular game. It's on crypto.com. Shrap, SHRAP, and it's been hovering just under 30 cents. I think this game is gonna blow up. And remember, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo to support the show at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And of course, you can make a Bitcoin donation. Gus 1388, thank you, sir. Really, Louis Gossett Jr.? He just passed away? Wow. Only two things come out of Oklahoma: the steers and queers. And I don't see any horns on you, boy. You a mule? You a mule, boy? You wanna F me? No, sir. No, sir. If you have not seen Officer and a Gentleman, first of all, shame on you. Seriously. Like, shame on you. Like, it's incomplete. Your entire movie history of your life is incomplete if you have never watched Officer and a Gentleman, because it is a phenomenal movie. A great movie at every level. The writing, the acting, you name it, dude. Okay? Second to none. You must watch Officer and a Gentleman. And Louis Gossett Jr.'s role in Officer and a Gentleman is above legendary. Okay? Louis Gossett Jr. is legendary. His acting is legendary. But you got to see Officer and a Gentleman, man. That role is just too much. Too much. Too much. Iron Eagle, Jaws 3. Yep. He was in charge of the of the Jaws of SeaWorld or whatever it was called, SeaWorld in San Diego. You know? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he was there. Iron Eagle. I remember that too. Damn. I love Louis Gossett Jr., bro. Who doesn't love Louis Gossett Jr.? It's un-American not to love Louis Gossett Jr. Come on, bro. It's like, B Rob is saying 12-5 this year. I love it. I love it. I can live with 12-5, man. Yeah, definitely take that over. Wow. That sucks with Louis Gossett Jr., man. That sucks. Big O, this old school, longtime mutual fund investor, now member of the Bitcoin owner Legion. There you go. I mean, you can only lead a horse to water. It's up to them to drink it. You know what I mean? I told you at 16,000. I told you at 20. I told you at 30. I told you at 40. We're here at 70. If you're still doubting by now, you have, I don't know, maybe you've listened to Biden and Yellen too much or something. Although Biden himself never really trashes it. It's all his underlings that do it. But he's at it. He's part of the problem. So, but anyway, I'm just saying, folks, I'm telling you to be there at the fair because they've got over 80 rides, over 130 food stands. Parking is free every day. I feel like going and having an elephant ear right now, right off of Coral Way and 112th. Kids 5 and under are free. Seniors 65 and older are free. They've got all kinds of unlimited ride tickets and all kinds of tickets. $40 for unlimited ride tickets. You can buy tickets online at Sedano's before you arrive so you can save and avoid the lines. You can go to fairexpo.com so you can find more. They got some great food. Take advantage, folks. Be there. The fair, baby. They know how to get it done. Okay? Big O, did you ever practice breakdancing or popping back at me? Nope. No, I never did any of that. No. Never did any of the popping and the. Never did any of that. Nope. That's all I can do right there. That's it. That's all I can do. That's the most popping I can do for you. Yeah, popping knees. Yeah, I hear mine crack and pop every time I get up. So yeah. So no. I was never a break dancer. Yes.
Are they still looking for Diddy?
Yes, they're still. At least I haven't seen that they found him anywhere.
Well, TMZ found him at Top Golf with his twin daughters hitting golf balls.
For real?
That's what they say.
Is it like filmed like recent? Oh, but you saw on Twitter it could be recorded from old and reposted or whatever. But that would be funny if he's actually at Top Golf with his daughters in the middle of this investigation. Okay? That would be funny. And by the way, the Meek Mill stuff? That's too much information I'm finding out about Diddy. That recording, I cannot undo that audio recording. That's all I can tell you. Those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, I don't even look into it. Don't even bother. I'm just going to do you a favor. Okay? No. I ran into that yesterday, and I cannot undo it. So, wow. We're finding out too much stuff about Diddy. What? Okay. The white daughter's there? Is the white daughter there? Oh, the twins. Okay. All right. There is audio of Diddy and Meek Mill. Yes. Yeah. Bodyguard recorded it. Don't do it. Okay? Bitcoin, do it. P. Diddy, Meek Mill audio. Don't. I'm just telling you. I'm warning you. I'm being your friend. Okay? Don't do it. You know, it's anybody that ever watches Smokey and the Bandit. There's a scene where Gleason pulls over a bunch of kids and he tells them, you know, you can think about it, but don't do it. That I'm channeling Jackie Gleason there. Okay? You can think about it, but don't do it. That's all I'm saying. Any Smokey fans out there are kind of laughing at that scene right now because they're picturing. And by the way, if you've never seen Smokey and the Bandit 1 and 2, at least, there are 3s, but if you've seen 1 and 2 and you watch Jackie Gleason's one-liners throughout the whole thing, really, that alone is worth the entire thing. Outside, of course, Sally Fields in tight jeans. You know, well, it's a sight. You know, if I had to choose one, Zion or Tyler Hero. Oh, shit, I never thought I'd say this. Zion. Fat Boy plays more games than Tyler. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, Fat Boy's playing more now. Sheriff Buford T. Justice. That's right, Brett. What were you going to say?
No, I was thinking about this. I heard this thing on the radio the other day.
The audio clip?
No.
Because you're speechless.
I'm gonna play it for everybody right now.
No, you're not.
No, somebody actually legally changed their names.
For that.
Yeah, no. They're looking at it right now. That's why they changed their name legally to literally anyone else, and is getting on the voting ballot.
Oh, okay.
So that it'll be Trump, Biden, literally anyone else.
Right, yeah.
So that's what I was thinking of when I saw Zion or Tyler. Although Zion, as you said, this year
he's played more games than Tyler.
Played it. Yeah, no.
I gotta take Fat Boy over Tyler.
He's actually looked pretty good this year.
I mean, I've always been frustrated with Zion, but I'm more frustrated with Tyler than Zion because he's on our team. He's a waste. And as you all know, I'm not into his feelings. Like my man Ira's like, well, no, you can't bring him off the bench because he's a starter and, you know, that'll get into his feelings. I'm like, F his feelings, bro. The guy never plays. You go to finals and Eastern Conference finals without his ass. You don't need Tyler Hero. That's the thing about Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero's not really needed. You know? It's crazy. So there you go. By the way, 3 o'clock, I think we're recording it, and then I think they'll play it after. But I'm joining Jason Sarney and Dolphins Talk at 3 o'clock, so they'll have it on after. I don't know when they'll post it or whatever. So I'm gonna do a segment with the boys. So I guess they want to recap a little bit about what's gone on in the Dolphin off season. So looking forward to that. Sarney's a good dude. And we'll have some fun. So you can look forward to that somewhere, I'm sure. And we'll have a little fun with that. I know Steven is also going to join us doing it also. So it'll be Steven and Jason Sarney doing the interview. What else do we have going on? What's the deal with Bitcoin? Where are we at? 69,301. The future's expiring. dip. Take advantage. When this dip leaves, you're going to regret it. Just like you regret it when it went to 38 and when it went to 52 and all that other stuff. And look where we're at now. So you're going to regret it. So take advantage. I can't read that one. Still living in the 80s time capsule. Tyler needs to be aware that he had no business of being a starter. Well, apparently, that's not the case. Apparently, they're worried about his feelings. All right, folks, we are out of here. We thank David Furones. We thank Manny Navarro. We thank, of course, the man, the myth, the legend that is Larry Schlossberg and all the great people out here at Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. And, folks, this is the end of the month. They are going to do anything and everything to make a deal for you. So come on out. It's the Spring Into Performance sales event. They've got 1.9% financing right now for 36 months. Great opportunity. And by the way, the ZDX, the all-electric car, you can come on in now. You can already reserve your ZDX. So if you want to get the electric car, and by the way, that thing is super sharp. So come on in, check it out, talk to the people here at Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. And remember, if you own or lease an Acura and you need to get it serviced, Mike Chan and Jordan Ferber, man, they are absolute freaking studs here at 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 in Pines. Appreciate all of you, as always, for tuning in and for supporting us. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, all of those things. Share the show. We appreciate you. We'll see you on Monday. Same time, same place, same bat channel. And yes, we'll meet you at Chico's.